バカ、手を休めんな。焦げ焦げ。
Thors had the typical masculine trait of high disagreeableness, ambition, and relentlessness. His youth clearly brought out those unrefined characteristics to the surface. The Viking culture encouraged the development and demonstration of such traits. Combine it with physical prowess and you get to the point of being called the Troll of Yom. For young people, morality doesn't matter all that much. Babies are very challenging because they push boundaries in order to explore the world. They scream, touch different objects, walk everywhere, and play a lot. Parents teach children what should be done and what should not. The adolescence is a mild continuation of that experience. Now people know what is conventionally good and what is abhorred. Young people are still children at heart though. They are still exploring, this time not as much solely the outer world, but a combination with the inner world. What will bring fulfillment to their desires? What object? What relationship? What action? At this point in life, morality is too abstract. Thors lived in a culture which brought up their children to search battle and glory. Thors had learned from a child what is accepted, namely the shield and sword in hand. It all aligned with Thors' capabilities and desires. So Thors played the game of war. He plundered and conquered, achieved glory and respect. All of a sudden the circumstances changed and he found a wife with which he had children. Now Thors abstracted himself from his own thoughts and desires and looked at the world in which he lived. That was not a safe and nice place where the children could grow up and thrive. Immanuel Kant was a German philosopher and was one of the central philosophers of the Enlightenment. His systematic work on epistemology, ethics and aesthetics influenced later philosophies to a great extent. The term sapere aude, loosely translated to have courage to use your own reason, became popularly associated with the Age of Enlightenment after Kant had used it in an essay, although the phrase was originally used by the ancient Roman poet Horace. It was also associated with the terms of rationalism and empiricism, which were a bit older philosophies that he included in his works. Kant's categorical imperative in his deontological moral philosophy states that one should only abide to a self-rule that could be applied on a global scale as a general rule. That means that if you need medicine and you can't afford it, so then you steal, everybody should also do the same. So as per Kant, you shouldn't steal because it can be set as a general rule. Thors, after having children, started orientating himself around universal and general rules. He became an idealist. The world needed to change because it didn't benefit the victims of the Vikings, but only the Vikings. Furthermore, the problem was that Vikings fought even each other, so even at home wasn't safe. Thors, the giant of Yom, saw no point in the violent lifestyle of his anymore. His children probably wouldn't want to experience this harsh life of mostly promises and rarely fulfillment. Pacifism seemed a worthy cause in his world. He started to understand that others also had similar desires as him, and both parties were coerced into living out the Viking culture. One would, maybe, but only maybe, achieve his dream, but only after killing the other, who thus loses the chances of reaching a personal dream. All of that at what cost? What if at the end you are still not satisfied, but must you kill and plunder further until you find what you are searching for? Thors felt that children were a very good goal, but premature death by the sword or arrow was a big antagonist to this goal. So the giant of Yom came to the conclusion that one has no enemies and went far away from the Viking culture. That's what he tried to preach to the young Thorfinn, who also aspired to be a Viking. Thors, as Kant, searched for an universal law. However, the fatal flaw of that philosophy is that people will probably initially live life by following the inner desires before thinking about what is outer, exactly as Thors did. Many people won't abide by one's ideals and will act against them. That's what happened to Thors when he was ambushed by Askeladd. Thorfinn didn't have his father anymore, who would instill the philosophy of pacifism and the categorical imperative. Thorfinn was engulfed by revenge and idealism disappeared from his mind. He had to begin at point zero, as his father did. Live the sinful life of desire until you realize that it doesn't fulfill your soul. In the farming arc, it could be seen clearly after Askeladd had died. With the desire for revenge now gone, there was nothing else to the world anymore, until Thorfinn started adapting and developing philosophies of his own, one of which was eventually his father's.
は人を殺す道具だ。お前はこれで誰を殺すつもりなんだ。
敵。
お前の敵は誰なんだ。